Hi everyone, I am going to show you how to start a Google Meet. So if you want to start one at this very second and students know that you're going to go on at this very second, don't really recommend it, but here's how you can do it. Click the waffle once you're logged into your school district account, and then you should see an icon for Meet. You can open up Google Meet. I do have something scheduled at 3 o'clock. So let's say it was 3 o'clock. I would click that here, and then I would be starting my Google Hangout, but no one is here because it's not 3 o'clock. So I would have to click Join Now. And when you join now, you actually see this pop up right over here. You will not see this. You will not actually be signed into Google Meet unless you have clicked Join Now. So I'm going to show you a couple things that you have available to you here. You can turn on captions, and this will help our students who are deaf and hard of hearing, as well as our ELL students, so that they can actually read whatever it is that we're saying, and they could take in whatever it is that we're saying with Stride. I'm going to turn this off by clicking it. If you click these dots right over here, you have a couple options. I would highly recommend that if you do a Google Meet, you would record the meeting. This then allows you to upload this to your Google Classroom as a link. Let's say, for example, there might be students that for whatever reason cannot sign on to your Google Meet at the time that you're going to have your Google Meet, which would be for your office hours. And so if you click record, this will allow you to save it and then put it up to your Google Classroom. I will do a separate tutorial on how to upload this to your Google Classroom and how to download it and whatnot. You can also click change layout. Change layout allows you to, so automatically you're going to see the sidebar, meaning like you can kind of see me up here in this corner. Everyone else will pop up in there as well. I can also see who else has been there, right? If I click the people icon, I can add other people into it, and I'm going to click out of it. Let's go back there, change layout. You can also see it tiled. This can't really see it right now because there's no one here, but that would mean I would have like somebody here and another person next to me, so you can see multiple people at the same time. And then if I hit change layout spotlight, this one right here will just allow whoever is speaking to be spotlighted in there. It's not changing anything because I'm the only one that's in here. You can turn on the captions here. You can play with any other settings that you might want here for your video or for your audio. If for whatever reason students give you feedback that it is not working. I'm going to go back and click the more options. If you have students that can't hear for whatever reason or are using a device at home that does not have a webcam, they can use phone for audio. The other thing that I want to show you is down here that is a present now button. If I click that, it allows me to share my screen. So this would be if I want to highlight something for students live. This is very different than the Screencastify stuff that I've been sending out. Screencastify allows you to record your screen while you're talking it and then send it as a YouTube link. This right here is if I have a bunch of students right here and they're live and I want to share my screen. So I'm going to click share my entire screen. I'm going to select which screen. I'm working off of two screens right now. And then I'll click share. So let me do this one. I'll click share. So that way you are now seeing, well, you will see presenting to everyone. And then let me just hide this right over here. At which point then I can stop presenting, and then that takes me right back to this screen right here, so I should be able to see my face. The other thing that might be important for you to take a look at is when I hover over the screen, you should see down here a couple of icons. This is for me to end the call. This is for me to turn off the camera, so it'll just use my icon. That's it. If I'm looking a mess and I don't want you to see me, I'm still looking a mess, but you're going to see me anyway. This right here would be to mute the microphone. So right now I am muted. And the only reason why you can hear me, you see it's saying I'm talking, the mic is off, it'll give me a signal that it is muted. You might want your students to be all muted while you're talking, or you're going to hear some weird background noise and some lag. So that's just a good practice. You'd be able to tell if someone is muted when all your students pop up over here. You should see that icon now. So that icon popped up right over here, and it showed me that it was muted. And really, that is all. So if I click this right here, it gives me more info. It gives me the info that I can send out as a link to my students. So I can send this link out to my students. I can copy the info, and then I can go to my Google Classroom, and then I can actually paste that in, Control V. I'm going to paste that in and say like Hangout, or say office hours at 3 p.m. or however, and then I can post it that way. So that is one thing that you can do. And look, Google Meet doesn't open up as a separate icon if you're looking at it from just a Google browser. It's just a separate tab. The other thing that you could do, bear with me, is kind of what I did for math here. So I created, let me do another one. I can create a, I'll go to my Google Calendar. I will create an appointment, and I'm going to call this office hours, just to mimic what I'm going to do with my own students. So I'm going to put office hours. I want the time to be from 3 to 4, let's say. I'm not going to add any guests yet, but what I want to do is I want to click here where it says add rooms, location, or conferencing. I'm going to click that, and I'm going to click add conferencing, and automatically it creates a Google Meet for me. So then I can add my guests. If you have a Google Classroom, you want to find your classroom, fourth period. What did I call them? IB math. Let's see. Fourth period, year 2, I believe is my class. So now I've invited my entire class, for example, and it'll go to their calendar. Or I can invite guests specifically. You really don't need this because all that you really can do when you hit save, right here in my office hours, if I click it, I can see the Google Hangouts Meet, and then this is the information that I want to copy. See this right here, it allows me to copy that information and then paste it and send it out to my students. So keep in mind that this is actually a really cool tool for you to use. And this is a tool that we are going to be using for our virtual office hours that we're going to hold daily. Remember that I can click here to see those details as well. I can also add any attachments that I might need here with students. There's also a chat option. This would be good if people are silent or I want to tell them hey, make sure your mic is muted, and then they'll mute it or whatever else. So you can send it to everybody. Everyone will see it. And then to exit out of it, just click on the screen, and then you're good to go. So hopefully this gives you a good introduction to Google Meet. This is going to be we're going to learn as we go. It's going to be a little tough, so keep that in mind, but we'll get through it. Okay, so play around with this, and if you have any questions, please let me know. Thank you.